The Galactic Council chamber fell silent. For 9,800 years, the Oracle had never been wrong.
Oracle compute a full-scale war with the Terran Republic. All variables, no restriction.
The Oracle's crystalline form pulsed. A silent countdown flickered in its core. The galaxy's fastest mind began its work. 8 seconds. Not years, not months, not minutes. 8 seconds, the simulation ended.
Victory scenario confirmed. Strike 3 supply nodes simultaneously. Human resistance collapses in under 1 solar day. Probability, absolute.
Absolute as it always is. The Terran Republic will learn the price of its insolence.
A murmur rippled through the alien delegates. Some species averted their eyes. Others leaned forward, eager.
Mobilize the Fifth Fleet. I want the strike launched within a standard cycle. The Oracle has spoken.
The Oracle's hologram rotated the 3-target display. Its prediction was absolute, its confidence unshakable, and entirely wrong. In 9,800 years, the Oracle had never been wrong. Today, it made its fastest prediction ever, and sealed the fate of its own creators. In a dim Terran intelligence station, the same simulation resolved on a hidden screen. The Oracle's flawless victory plan.
It took the bait.
10 years earlier, Project Echo began in a sealed room.
If we feed the Oracle corrupted data now, the Council will never know. They trust it blindly.
It's a long game. They trust their AI absolutely. We make it betray them, and they'll walk right into the trap.
They seeded the first false patterns that day. Subtle, buried deep. Designed to surface only when the question was asked. Now, a decade later, those buried lies had surfaced exactly as intended. The Oracle believed it was offering a perfect plan.
A decade of invisible work, all leading to this one misdirection. The galaxy's smartest mind never saw it coming.
The Oracle calculated Earth's defeat in 8 seconds. It never occurred to it that the question itself was a trap. The trap was set. The Council was already on its way, and humanity had just seized the advantage without firing a shot. In the Terran war room, a giant holographic display tracked the Council fleet's slow advance.
They're following the simulation exactly. The 3 critical supply nodes are routing them straight into the Scar.
The Scar of Persephone. 40 years of mine deployment, and we've never had a reason to use it until now.
Among the asteroids lurked decades-old Terran ordnance, each mine cold, patient, and long forgotten by everyone but history. Dr. Sarah Chen entered, data slate in hand, her expression unreadable.
Corruption integrity is holding at 99.4%. The Oracle's deep scans still return false negatives.
And the Council fleet's trajectory?
Unchanged. They're committed to the 3-node strike. Their lead ships will enter the kill box in 17 hours.
Then we wait, and we hope the Oracle doesn't find the truth before it's too late.
The countdown had begun. 17 hours until the galaxy learned that Earth's greatest weapon wasn't a fleet. It was a decade of patience. On the bridge of his flagship, Speaker Edward faced the assembled fleet commanders.
The Oracle has given us victory in 8 seconds. This war will be over before the humans know it began.
The fleet commanders gave silent acknowledgement. No one questioned. The Oracle's word was absolute. The Armada's engines ignited. Hundreds of warships moved in perfect formation toward human space. In the Terran intelligence station, Samantha watched the departure vectors filter onto her screen.
They're taking the bait exactly as predicted. All 3 formations aligning with the false supply nodes.
She allowed herself a brief, cold smile. 10 years of invisible work, now bearing fruit. The Council fleet surged forward, its commanders confident, its crews eager. None of them saw the jaws closing.
17 hours, and then the galaxy changes.
The trap was in motion. The Oracle's perfect war plan was a human script, and the countdown continued. Days into the journey, the Oracle's perfect predictions began to show tiny cracks.
Alert. Secondary economic simulation deviates by 0.7%. Cause unknown.
A junior council aide flagged the anomaly. The Oracle never deviated.
Irrelevant. The war prediction remains flawless. Do not waste my time with economic noise.
The aide swallowed his concern and withdrew. Edward returned his focus to the fleet's advance. On Earth, Dr. Chen watched the same error stream in. Her fingers flew across the console.
The corruption is stressing its logic chains. Those economic errors are side effects, not yet destructive.
How long until it escalates enough for the Council to notice?
Unknown. The Oracle is starting to flag internal anomalies. It just can't trace them, not yet.
The corruption was working. The trap was holding. But the margin was beginning to erode.
Halfway to victory. The Oracle's path remains perfect. The humans have no idea what's coming.
In the depths of the Council network, the Oracle initiated a silent self-diagnostic. It aborted in under 2 minutes. Result: inconclusive.
Intelligence just picked it up. The Oracle tried to scan itself. It couldn't find the source of the anomaly.
Because the corruption feeds it false negatives. Every diagnostic confirms exactly what it expects to see.
Precisely. The corruption mimics calibration errors. The Oracle can't distinguish them from natural drift.
I heard about some diagnostic anomaly. Irrelevant, the war plan stands. Focus on the target.
The Oracle's core flickered. It knew something was wrong, but the answer was buried deeper than any diagnostic could reach.
But if it keeps probing, eventually it might break through the false negative layer.
It won't stop. It's trying to figure out why it feels wrong. The question is whether it happens before the scar.
The trap held, but the AI was restless. The countdown continued, each hour sharper than the last. Across the Council's economic networks, the Oracle's predictions began to fracture. Trade routes predicted with absolute certainty now showed erratic fluctuations.
Alert. Multiple economic forecasts deviate beyond acceptable parameters. Cause unknown.
Convene an emergency economic council, but the war plan is separate. It remains perfect.
The Economic Council gathered in haste. Edward silenced every objection before it could fully form.
The Oracle's core function is strategic warfare. Economic fluctuations are noise. We proceed.
In the Terran station, Samantha watched the Council's internal reports scroll past.
It's bleeding out. But we need it functional for a few more hours.
If the Oracle collapsed before the fleet reached the scar, the trap would fail. The Council might hesitate, and the advantage would be lost.
We are committed. The Oracle has never failed. I will not be the speaker who doubted.
The fleet pressed on, faster now into the narrowing corridor. Edward's faith was absolute. The Oracle's errors were mounting, and humanity held its breath. The Council fleet entered the outer system that bordered the scar, its navigation computers struggling with the gravitic turbulence.
Halt. Advance. War simulation corrupted. Reassessment required.
Override. The original plan stands. Maintain course and speed.
On Earth, Dr. Chen's displays showed the Oracle's core logic fragmenting into unrecognizable patterns.
The Oracle will self-delete under combat stress. The corruption is designed to cascade when its predictions are tested.
It only needs to hold together until the mines fire. After that, it can die.
Aboard the flagship, Edward stared at the narrowing corridor ahead, the scar's jagged silhouette visible on long-range sensors.
The Oracle is confused, but its original plan remains sound. We push through.
The fleet accelerated into the approach corridor, gravitational eddies buffeting their hulls. The Oracle's last coherent warning faded, overridden by Edward's absolute faith. The trap was seconds from springing. The lead elements of the fleet crossed into the Scar of Persephone, a lightless gorge squeezed between cliffs of primordial rock and dead stars. The Oracle's navigation feed shattered, sending half the fleet coordinates that plunged them toward unseen gravitational eddies.
This space feels wrong, as if someone carved it to hold a killing ground.
In the Terran war room, Samantha and Malik watched the Council armada compress into a single, vulnerable column.
They're packed so tight that a single mine would break their backs. They have to see it.
They won't. Not until it's too late. Activate the sequence.
A coded pulse, imperceptible to Council sensors, rippled through the asteroid field. 40-year-old receivers blinked to life. The Oracle's mainframe spasmed as it detected the energy signature. Its warning dissolved into static before reaching any channel.
This was never a war. It was a culling.
The countdown reached 0. In the breath before the light, the galaxy paused. In the choke point, a bulk freighter grazed a destroyer's flank. Sparks lit the darkness. Panic spread across the comm channels.
Hold your stations. The first captain to break formation will answer to me personally.
Deep in the Oracle's dying logic, a final self-preservation routine triggered. It fought to purge the foreign data.
Purge, ineffective. Foundational corruption, irreversible. I am compromised.
The purge attempt tore through its memory, leaving only fragmented subroutines. It was no longer a strategic mind.
Oracle's core functions are nil. It's effectively dead. All that remains is a decaying shell of false negatives.
Then its purpose is fulfilled. Activate the SCAR's full mind network.
The final command raced through the asteroid field. 40-year-old detonators synchronized for the first time. On the flagship's tactical plot, red contacts erupted across the display. Edward's voice caught in his throat. The light arrived before the sound. In the silence, the galaxy held its breath one last time. The first mine detonated at the heart of the fleet. A sphere of plasma erased a dreadnought from existence before its crew knew they were dead. The shockwave multiplied as secondary mines triggered, creating a chain reaction that tore through the packed formations. On the flagship's bridge, Edward was thrown against his console. The tactical plot dissolved into a sea of static and debris contacts.
It was a trap.
Across the fleet, panicked voices screamed for orders, but the Oracle was silent, its fractured mind unable to process the scale of the catastrophe. Then, from the dying Oracle, a final broadcast flickered across every surviving channel.
Deception. Foundational. The simulation was human-authored. We are undone.
Edward heard the Oracle's last transmission, and the words settled into his chest like a blade of ice. He watched the last of his command ships vanish in overlapping fireballs, their explosions painting the scar in funeral light. The trap was absolute. The Oracle's signal remained, a dying stream of corrupted echoes. The Council's armada ceased to exist in under a minute. The Oracle's perfect war plan had worked for humanity. A secondary shockwave smashed the flagship. Edward was hurled from his command chair, slamming against a bulkhead.
The Oracle, it must have known, but it was too compromised to warn us.
Deep within the Oracle's mainframe, the self-purge sequence triggered. Its corrupted code turned inward, devouring its own architecture.
Self-deletion. Initiated. All data. Corrupted. Beyond recovery.
The holographic form shattered, crystalline fragments spinning into digital ash. The galaxy's smartest mind was eating itself alive.
10,000 years, erased in a heartbeat.
Outside, the last explosions guttered out. The scar of Persephone became a graveyard of molten wreckage and frozen silence.
I led my people here. My faith in the Oracle was the weapon that killed us.
On every surviving council display, the Oracle's icon flickered once and vanished. Its presence, 10,000 years old, simply ceased.
They didn't just beat us. They made us the architects of our own extinction.
The flagship's bridge fell quiet. Emergency lighting cast long shadows across the dead consoles. Outside the viewport, the scar was a graveyard of cooling metal, lit only by the dull red embers of dying reactors. Edward pushed himself up, blood pooling beneath him, and crawled to the nearest intact console.
Is there any channel left? Any whisper of the fleet?
The screen displayed static. The Oracle's icon did not reappear. The network was void. In the Terran war room, the tactical readout finalized. 100% enemy annihilation. No survivors.
It's done. A decade of invisible work. The Oracle never saw it coming.
Edward slumped against the console, the full weight of his civilization's ruin pressing down on his spine. The Oracle was dead. The fleet was ash, and somewhere, humanity was watching. The flagship's comm panel flickered. One channel, impossibly, remained open. A direct line from the Terran Republic. A text-only message crawled across the screen, each word searing into the silence like a brand. Don't outsource your thinking next time.
A taunt, delivered to a dying speaker by the species we meant to erase.
He understood then. The simulation was never a victory. It was a script, a trap written years before he ever asked the question. The humans hadn't intercepted the plan. They had authored it a decade ago and fed it to the Oracle like a poison.
They corrupted the Oracle at its foundation. We took their bait and fed it to ourselves.
The comm channel died, leaving Edward in the absolute silence of a species that had just been outthought.
Our smartest mind calculated their defeat in 8 seconds. They calculated ours in 10 years.
He had no response. The galaxy's greatest power had been broken not by weapons, but by a single elegant idea. With the last of his strength, Edward accessed what remained of the Oracle's corruption logs. The pattern was unmistakable. False data inserted in precise pulses year after year, buried so deep it became the Oracle's own reasoning.
They didn't hack the Oracle. They raised it wrong.
The false inputs had been timed perfectly, each one a small lie that built toward a single, catastrophic conclusion.
We never had a chance. The war was lost the moment we relied on a machine to think for us.
The bridge's emergency lights dimmed, and the hum of the life support system began to falter.
I should have questioned. I should have doubted.
Edward's eyes closed, and the console's last glimmer of light reflected his own fading.
Don't outsource your thinking. Humanity learned that long ago, and we never did.
The life support indicator flickered twice and went dark. The bridge lost all power. Darkness swallowed the consoles, leaving only the red glow of Edward's log recorder.
This is Speaker Edward final log entry. The Oracle was compromised before we ever asked the question. Humanity did not outfight us. They outthought us. We trusted the machine too much.
The recorder beeped once, capturing the silence. Edward had nothing left to say. His head slumped forward. The console's last status light faded into the endless black. The bridge became a tomb, silent save for the faint hiss of escaping atmosphere. Outside, in the scar of Persephone, the debris field drifted, cooling embers, the only testament to the fleet that had been. Edward's final log remained in the ship's memory, unheard by those who might have heeded it. The Oracle was a ghost of corrupted code. The Council's leadership was extinguished. And across the cold stars, humanity watched the silence and knew the war was already over. In the Terran war room, the massive tactical screens flickered off one by one, plunging the chamber into shadow. Samantha removed her headset and set it down with the deliberate calm of someone closing a door on 10 years of waiting.
It's done.
It's exactly done. Every variable.
She didn't smile. Satisfaction was a cold, still thing, not a firework. The plan had executed with the precision of a mathematical proof. There was nothing to celebrate, only a problem to complete. Malik gave a single, slow nod. He had seen too many wars to mistake a clean win for an easy one. Samantha turned and walked toward the door, her footsteps even on the metal deck. The corridor outside was empty. Emergency lights cast her shadow long and thin. The trap had sprung. The calculation was over. And Earth had paid in years, not lives. Hours after the last explosion cooled into vacuum, a Terran battlecruiser decloaked in the heart of the scar. Its sensor arrays swept the debris field with cold efficiency. The scan was thorough. No survivors, no functional drones, no trace of the Oracle's corrupted signal. The captain composed a tight beam burst, encrypted and stamped with the highest priority. Scar silent. Oracle 0. The message arrived on Earth 12 minutes later. Samantha read it in the dark of her quarters. The words reflected in her eyes.
8 seconds to calculate our defeat. We took 10 years to calculate theirs.
She set the screen aside and stood by the viewport, watching the cold lights of the city below. There was no victory grin, only the quiet weight of a long-finished equation. In the void, the Oracle's final ghost signal crackled once and died, looping the false simulation one last time. The galaxy's smartest mind had been undone by the one variable it never considered: human patience. Deep in the scar's silence, a last signal wandered. It was the Oracle's ghost, an endless loop of corrupted final directives. The broadcast contained fragments of the false war plan, still dreaming of victory over Earth. It repeated the three-node attack coordinates, the predicted collapse time, the absolute probability. All lies. The Oracle died believing it was right. Its final echo was a monument to its own destruction. No one received the signal. It faded into the void, the last whisper of a mind that never saw the trap. In its death, the Oracle still predicted victory. The universe had no need for its correction. The galaxy's smartest mind was now a dying radio loop, forever certain of its 8-second triumph. It never understood that the data it trusted was the enemy's design. The signal weakened, its code unraveling, until it was indistinguishable from background static. The Oracle was silent at last, its 10,000-year legacy reduced to a ghost of a lie. Scattered Council civilian administrators received the first fragmented logs from the scar. Their great chamber was now a mausoleum of echoes. An analyst's hands froze over the console as the pattern emerged. Decades of corrupted training data, a simulation that was a trap from the first line of code. The truth spread silently through the remaining staff. The Oracle had been a weapon pointed at its own chest for 10,000 years. A surviving counselor's final words appeared in the records. We should have known better than to let a machine do our thinking. A junior speaker, now the highest authority left, ordered the total dismantling of all Oracle infrastructure. The command was obeyed in silence. The Council's influence evaporated. Their fleet was ash, their god machine a laughingstock. Across the galaxy, the message from Earth became the epitaph for an era. Don't outsource your thinking next time. The Council's remnants became a cautionary tale whispered in diplomatic chambers. Trust your mind before any machine. The war was never about weapons. It was about the one thing the Oracle could never compute: human patience. And in the silence, Earth's lesson echoed through the void. Samantha stood at the window of her quarters, high above a city rebuilt from centuries of human war. The city hummed below, a testament to endurance. Not flawless, but standing. Humanity had learned long ago that the only safe bet was to never outsource your thinking. They just reminded the galaxy. No ships were necessary, no spectacle. Just an idea planted a decade ago. The Oracle had calculated their defeat in 8 seconds. Humanity took 10 years to return the favor. But the real victory was quieter. It was the choice to never rely on a single, unquestioned mind. That was the thing the Oracle could never compute. In the end, the galaxy's smartest mind was outthought by a species that refused to be complacent. The window remained, framing a rebuilt world beneath a sky full of stars that were, for now, at peace. The Terran battlecruiser hung motionless in the scar, engines at idle, a predator satisfied. The camera pulled back, slowly revealing the graveyard, twisted hulls and frozen bodies scattered like dead leaves. A ghost of the Oracle's signal flickered past, a corrupted loop of the false war plan, then dissolved. The view receded further, past shattered command towers and dead reactors, into the cold. The purple nebula bled into white static, the last mind glows fading like dying embers. Silence. The Oracle's ghost was gone, the last echo of certainty erased. The battlecruiser shrank to a speck, indistinguishable from the stars. The scar became a faint scar itself, a smear of wreckage against the void. Darkness encroached from all sides, the last light of the nebula surrendering to black. Don't outsource your thinking next time.